Cohen is a licensed private investigator and the owner of Justice Warrior Investigations. She holds a master's degree in criminal justice, a bachelor's in legal studies, and an associate's in paralegal studies. Heather first gained national recognition on the 2021 true crime series Secrets, Lies, and Private Eyes, and today she continues her mission as the co-host of the Justice Warriors podcast. Through her work, she gives voices to victims' families, uncovers overlooked evidence, and challenges the narratives that often leave the truth in the dark. Tracey holds an associate's degree in business and a bachelor's in psychology. She's an investigative journalist, podcast host, and co-author with Heather Cohen of Swift Injustice, Framed in the Smokies, and author of the Holly Bobo Trial Guide. Tracey brings a careful investigative lens to every story featured on the Justice Warriors podcast, dedicated to amplifying victims' voices and uncovering the facts behind unsolved cases. Get ready for another riveting episode of the Justice Warriors podcast.
Oh, hello. Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Tracey and I wanted to come on today and do a little podcast, just kind of a improv, talk about everything over the past decade. It's crazy it's been that long. But Tracey and I have been working together and doing this stuff for almost exactly, actually a little bit over a decade. I think it would have been about a decade. Last May is when I got when we first started doing things. I think about ish.
Yeah, we don't
Does that
have
sound
an
about
exact,
right?
you're right. We don't have an exact date because it's, yeah,
At precisely 1:47 p.m.
yeah,
on.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, we've learned a lot along the way, taken a lot of classes, um, and just broadened our education by leaps and bounds.
Well, and so much of it is hands-on. This field, this this it it, it really is not something you can learn from a book. It is something you just have to jump in and learn. A lot of it is trial and error. A lot of it is just you can't learn it from a book. You got to figure it out for yourself.
Mm-hmm. Much, yes, exactly.
Yeah. So I wanted to start with kind of a reintroduction. We've been doing this for about a decade, and we have a lot of new followers, new people who have just kind of come along in the last few months, and so we wanted to jump on here and do a little reintroduction of who we are, what we stand for, um, what it means to be a justice warrior. And we don't, when we say justice warriors, we're not just talking about me and Tracey. It's not just us. We consider everyone that helps us, supports us, engages with us, and collectively we put our minds together and we work on these cases a lot of times together as a whole, and we really appreciate and value the input, insight, thoughts, feelings, concerns of our justice warriors. We consider the justice warriors a movement. It's a movement of people. A justice warrior is somebody who cannot be bought, cannot be intimidated, speaks the truth always, even when there is backlash, who is willing to stand up and call out and hold people accountable that otherwise would not be held accountable. That is what we consider a justice warrior. So if that describes you, you're one of us. We are justice warriors.
And if you notice, if you ever send us a private email, usually one or both of us will answer back. We don't just, and then people always go, I'm sorry to bother you. Don't be. Don't ever be sorry to talk to us. It's not a bother. And And without y'all, we could not do what we do.
Well, and if it wasn't for the people who engage with us and talk to us and continue to show us support and we probably wouldn't be doing this. I mean, I'd still be doing my PI stuff in the background, but as far as like, the public, getting the public involved and engaged, that's what it's about. So if you weren't engaging with us, we'd have no reason whatsoever to be here doing this right now.
And a long, long time ago, it was not Justice Warriors Investigation.
No.
We
No,
did
we
not
started
start
out.
out as Justice Warrior Investigations.
Yeah, that was we rebranded. I don't even remember what year it was. I think maybe like
It
2018
was after you,
or 19.
I don't know.
Yeah.
And it was like you were like, why am I trying to change things around?
Yeah. It started out HMC Investigations and
Which stands for Heather
into
Michelle Cohen.
Justice Warrior Investigations. So let's start with Tracy. Let's talk about how we met and what.
We met over the Holly Bobo case. I was writing a book, Holly Bobo Trial Guide, about the if you were going to the trial because there were so many ins and outs of the case.
Or
That
following the trial. Yeah.
right for following the trial. And I went in, I was getting information, doing my research. I went down to Florida and got some research done and went to the hotel and everything.
Yeah, tell us about that. Tell us about what you did in Florida.
Okay, I went to where Shane Austin unalived himself with a partial hanging. And I went there. I interviewed the man who ran it, and went saw the room that he was in, and dispelled a lot of rumors because it was an old 70s motel that did not have windows or anything to get in unless you got in the front windows and busted the panes out, and it was on camera. So all dispelled a bunch of rumors about him still being alive or somebody getting in there and doing that to him. He definitely took his own. And so I went and did that, and I was writing the book, and I went online to a platform, social media platform, a long time ago. It was called Topics, Topix.
Oh, topics.
All topics. And I got a bunch of stuff. I did get a bunch of stuff on that case, Karen Swift case, and the Crystal Rogers case. All three. A lot of
And Holly
information.
Bobo. And Holly Bobo.
Yeah, Holly Bobo. And that was the purpose I went on for the Holly Bobo, to write the book. And these people, women especially, were attacking me,
You
calling
can't
me.
really tell if they were men or women or what they were because most, no, they were anonymous.
Right. They were see you, calling me a see you, like see you next Thursday, all sorts of the witch, whatever.
The
Starts
worst
with a
word
V.
of words to be
Yeah, all
called.
that horrible things. And I'm thinking, Lord have mercy, what did I do? And
Yeah.
then some sweet, nice woman um, started sticking up for me, and then came to my personal vlog, crime log. It was called, it's still up, but I don't use it anymore. Questions in Crime, which was the best title. Questions in Crime. And Heather went there and gave me a private message, and I went to it. And from there, that was it.
Well, and if you remember what I said, it was don't take these things personal because they think you're me.
Yeah.
they
Oh, yeah, definitely.
they
God,
thought
that's
you
the
were
biggest
me.
part of the story.
I
That
was I was
she said they think you're me, and I'm thinking, no, they don't. No, they don't. Guess what?
I did.
That was the last time I said no, they don't to Heather, because Heather's right. Heather's normally 100% right because in my mind now I go like this. I'll go, no. Then I go, who am I saying no about? Yeah, because Heather said it. Heather does get it right. With
Well,
a huge percentage
not
of the
very
time.
much good came out of that godforsaken website.
Except us.
Topics was a place where just nasty people went to harass and just be really really ugly and threaten and defame and do all these things and not be held accountable because
And gang up on people.
they were anonymous.
It reminds me of a lot of what's going on today on some of the TikToks.
Right, well, but at least they're not anonymous though. That's
Right,
the
that's
difference.
true. That's true.
Take it over for a second. I need to see what my dog's freaking out about.
I think it's probably a fly.
What is that? What?
So
What are you
anyway,
freaking
that's
out
how
about?
we got going, and from that moment, we have been calling each other and talking to each other and bouncing ideas off of each other and helping each other and trips. We've gone on many trips. We were many cases. Many,
Yeah,
and
and
now that I look back, we did some really, at the time they weren't popular cases.
yeah.
Popular by means of uh, any case is horrific, but
Yeah, see, and that's a funny thing about like, sometimes you'll get these people that are like, "Oh, well, you were just trying to get your 15 minutes of fame and blah blah blah." When I got involved in Holly Bobo, she had only been missing for 2 weeks. How would I have ever known that that case was going to become, this national high profile case? I had
and there
no
have been
idea.
non-national high profile cases. Uh, Keeley, Darrell Keeley,
Oh, Drail Keeley.
Darrell Keeley. I see it in my mind.
Yeah, well, we worked that one didn't get a whole lot of attention.
No, that's what I
Um,
mean. I
yeah,
mean, we have worked other cases, and
we've
they've just
worked
meant
we've
just as
worked
much.
more we've worked more cases that weren't high profile than that were. We when we get involved in a case, generally when we get involved in it, it's not high profile yet. Even Swift, Swift was cold and nobody was really talking about it when we got involved with that
Yeah, it
case.
had gotten,
Um,
it was big, then it went away, and then
right.
when we got involved, we kind of brought the attention back to it.
Brought it back to life. I mean, I think we did. I don't
Yeah.
think they would want to. I don't think they would want to acknowledge that, but I definitely think we brought that case back to life. Um, but it's
It
like
was Raquel Jackson, and
Raquel Jackson. That case should have gotten a lot more attention than it did.
it did not.
And no matter what we did, we couldn't seem to get the attention on it that we wanted to
I
get
don't
on it.
think, well, I have my own opinion of it. I don't know
Yeah,
if you want me to say it, but
you can say what you want. This is our show.
I feel
Say
like
whatever, girl.
I feel like it had to do with the color of her skin.
Yeah, I mean, you're probably right because it does seem that,
The
and
networks didn't
it's
want it.
not fair, but it
No.
seems like, when somebody's missing or murdered and, they're pretty white, blonde-headed girls get a lot more attention than,
Holly Bobo,
yeah,
Karen
yeah,
Swift, Crystal
yeah,
Rogers.
yeah. And here Raquel Jackson was 8 months pregnant and did not get
And
the
a serial
attention.
killer.
Right.
I
Yeah.
mean,
And I don't, probably anybody watching this right now doesn't even know who we're talking about.
right.
Most people,
It's
I think.
in our iTunes, not iTunes, iPodcast or Podcaster
Apple
on
Podcasts. It's
your
on
Apple.
Spotify and it's even
Mhm.
out here on the YouTube channel somewhere, I think. But let's kind of we're kind of jumping all over and
Right.
I want to kind of come back to this, but So after we met, our first encounter where we met on topics, and Tracey was being attacked, and I stood up for her, and then we became friends. From there, I wasn't a PI yet, and from there, we were both. I was a Tennessee state coordinator for the Q Center for Missing Persons, and Tracey was interested in also doing that. So she became the Mississippi State Coordinator for Q Center for Missing Persons. And we went to North Carolina and did some training exercises.
Now, I want to
For
say
that.
something here. I did not think I could be a coordinator for Mississippi. I just didn't think I could do it. And Heather she didn't talk me into it, but she said, why not? Of course you are. You're going to be one. You're going to be one. Failure's not an option. That's what she always tells me. Failure's not an option. I go, why can't it be an option?
You can do it.
That's
You
what
can
she
do it.
said.
Go, Tracey. Go, Tracey.
So that's what we did. I went and learned. When you go to one of those let's set it up how it is. When you pull into all these vehicles that have canine on, canine for search dogs, and you're like, your heart starts boom, 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 boom. It's like, oh my God, this is for real. This is the real
Q is
deal.
an incredible organization.
Oh, and yeah, I mean, they bring out not at the hotel, but this was for the convention, and you have people from all walks of life, from all types of professions. You've got equine, you've got just mounted, and they're on with their white shirts and their white hats and their jeans and cowboy boots and sitting on the horses and four-wheelers and hey V. and and then you have they have not there, but they'll get bulldozers and dig and boats.
Divers, aerial,
It's
got all of it.
it's like it's the real deal.
It
And they
is.
have classes there, and you walk away with 6 completed certificates. And there is where we met Norma Peterson, who is what's the affidavit of my mind? My mind's not working real well today. Abuse, the abuse affidavit,
Yeah. That you can be used in court if something happens to you.
and Norma
Yeah.
Peterson is sister-in-law with Stacy Peterson and Drew Peterson, who is now in jail, and Stacy's never been found, but he was in jail for killing his second wife. However, yeah, so we have certificates from just those places that you go in and you learn how to do the difference between in a search, between this type of search and that type of search. I'm trying to think of the words right now. They're not
A grid search, a foot search
grid
versus
searches, and then the circular one where you just keep going. But yeah, from that, well, we'll go later into Dylan and all that, but um, so yeah.
Yeah. So, and then from there, I guess, I met, with the Holly Bobo case, I had met Sheila Wysocki, and I had provided Sheila with some notebooks of information that I had gathered and various documents that I had pulled together in my amateur non-PI, non-licensed investigation into the disappearance of Holly Bobo. And this was before her remains were found. But I had pulled together this information and given it to Sheila Wysocki. And Sheila, I had never even considered being a private investigator before. And Sheila looked at me and said, "Have you ever considered being a private investigator?" And she said, you have a knack for this. You're really good at this." And so that was kind of the first time that that the thought ever crossed my mind. And so at
Oh,
some
really?
point,
Really?
huh? Yeah,
So she suggested it, you never thought about it?
I had never thought of it. No,
Oh,
no, never
wow.
even considered it. And as a matter of fact, I was taking classes. I wanted to go to law school. That
Right.
was that was my plan. I wanted to be an attorney. And so I had started taking my online classes and had gotten my associate's degree in paralegal studies and was going on to get my bachelor's degree. And then the plan was to go to Nashville School of Law. Well, Sheila made the suggestion that I get my PI license, and it's all water under the bridge from there because basically I started my PI company and realized that, I was right where I belong.
No, no, don't sell
Well,
yourself short.
I did still want to continue on and get my law degree, and all
But,
that, but, but money is an issue,
but what'd
but
you get? It didn't stop with just getting your PI
I got my
license.
master's degree. Yeah, I did get my master's degree in criminal justice. But had I gone on to law, I wouldn't have needed to get the master's degree to go to law school. I would have just gone straight to law school from the bachelor's degree. But anyway, so at some point I told Tracey, I said, I think I'm gonna get my PI license. I'm gonna start a PI company. Do you want to do you want to help me?
Okay, let me explain how Heather does things. All of a sudden I'll get a phone call. It says Heather, and I answer, "Hello." She goes, "Do you want to do a podcast? Do you want to be a partner with me on a PI?" Just real quick. Just like, fling. Not like, "Hey, I got something to
And
talk to you
you
about."
never second guessed me. You were
No,
like, yes,
there's no reason.
of
Yeah, there's no
course.
reason. I've learned that. But yeah, it's not, "Hey, I got something to talk to you about." It's, "Do you want to be partners in an investigation service?"
Be my partner.
Sure, why not? It's
Oh,
like,
we make such a great team.
do you want to
It
go
was so,
go down to Five Guys and have a cheeseburger?
but I feel like, every step of the way for the past 10 years, everything has been so God inspired. It's divine, you know. He's really led us, and it's great. I mean, everything, it hasn't been easy,
There you go. There you go.
but you can't expect anything that is worth
But you're
doing
laying there dreaming
to
like,
be
"Oh,
easy.
it's just been so inspired," and everything is like, man, we've cried and been on the phone and gone, "We
We've
can't do this
laughed, we've
anymore."
cried.
And then we go,
It's been a
"Well, you know
journey.
what? He wouldn't lead us here if we couldn't keep going." And I'm thinking, "Are you sure? Are you
No, and
sure
I
this
never
is
could have
never want us to
imagined.
stop?"
But could you ever have imagined though? Like, I mean,
We knew it was going
every,
to be better than what we could imagine. We knew that.
could you ever have imagined some of the things the places that he's brought us and the things that we've done? And, I never could have imagined any
Like
of
on
it.
a beach, where we were filming, and they were doing drug runs, and it was night, and the film crew had to bring in security.
Security. Mhm.
Yeah.
It's all been very, it's a journey, and it's a beautiful journey, and it's a hard journey, but it's been so worth it.
And exciting
And
at
I
some
know we're
point. Yeah.
nowhere near done. God has not brought us this far for it to be over. Like,
Mm-mm.
we still have so much left to do. But so I started the company in May of 2016, and we've just grown and expanded and gotten licensed in Kentucky and also now Nevada. And as I was saying before, we've worked so many cases behind the scenes that y'all have never heard about, and some that we just simply cannot speak on. The difference is when I have a case, some cases need public attention, and some the public attention would hurt the case more than help it, and it's really dependent on whether the client approves, whether the client wants public attention or not. Sometimes they
Sebastian
do,
Rogers
sometimes they
case
don't.
being the biggest, the
Yeah,
reason you were hired was for the public. But some of the
right,
things we did on that case, we never publicized.
right. Well, some things I didn't publicize, but somehow got publicized anyways. Um, but that was,
Yeah, it was
we won't talk about
crazy.
that. We won't talk about that.
Uh-uh. That was crazy. And the circus, even the circus now, uh, around this horrible thing that happened in Tiptonville is nothing compared to what the Rogers case was to me.
Well, give it time.
But we
Give
weren't
it
in it.
time.
We weren't in it, I guess, is what it was.
Yeah.
And we were, when we get that Sebastian Rogers case, bless his poor little heart, but I tell you what, that about did me in. That was a constant, constant, constant. And people get this mixed up all the time. And they think they know better. And they come on to read Heather the Riot Act. And I just have to laugh at myself. Too much, not at myself, but at them. I laugh at their expense. But they always go to Heather. Um, I thought you were supposed to keep things private. And it's like, it's
You're
not
a private
undercover.
investigator.
It's
That's
not
not what it
undercover.
means.
It's not
Private just means I work for the private citizen
sector,
as
not
opposed
the
to like an
public,
agency.
not a public law enforcement officer. She's a private investigator, not a, it doesn't mean
Public,
she's a undercover agent.
right?
Undercover. You have to do,
Yeah.
it's like, oh my God, quit telling us our job, please. And a lot of sweet people will go, well, did you contact the FBI? Yeah. We've got them in our phone, thank you.
They're like, oh God, it's her again.
Yeah. And we've got the TBI in our phone, and we have this one in our phone, and we have that one in our phone. Believe me, we have contacted them. It's
Yeah, yeah.
it's not our first rodeo.
No, but we've had some really great times, and we have some really great memories, and some bad ones, and
And all of them were really it's sad. We were she did have a she was with the Crystal Rogers case. And people get on there and, oh, what did they do on one of them? It really upset me. They go, oh, I knew it wouldn't be long till she stuck her nose into this. It's like, we're not into this on another case. It's like, we're not into it. And
well,
and
how do
we're
I say this?
into and talking about it anyway. They're in it.
Well, there are some cases that I don't hesitate to get involved in, and then there's other ones that I know better than to get involved in, and a lot of that is just um, maturity, and have been in this field long enough to see what's coming, and know that
Right.
it's
And know what it's about. Yeah.
know that it's going to be bad. With like the drumming case, one of our supporters recently was like, I think it was today, commented, I wish that you would dive into this. And I replied, I said, this is not a case that I would dive into without the umbrella of an attorney, over me, to protect me from the shitstorm that I know is coming with it. The danger level of this case is it's way over anybody's heads. It's not something that any private citizen would or should dive into.
Even a PI should.
Right. You
without the
gotta
umbrella.
have.
Right,
Yeah,
without the umbrella.
you got to have that umbrella. You got to have protection. Without it, you're just kind of setting yourself up for a lot of headache and
no good
a lot of stress.
There's no good guys and there are no bad guys. It's all just, if you were to look at a piece of fabric, and tell me which, it's very enmeshed, which were the good guys and which were the bad guys, wouldn't be able to tell me.
I mean, yeah, it's sometimes it's not that clear cut, and in this particular case, it's just it's very muddied. It's very hard to tell.
Eat a squished grape on the ground. It's just everywhere. It's just
your analogies are kind of.
See, I'm having some medication. I have a bone infection in my toe, so I'm having some really strong meds. And
that explains it.
We'll blame it on that. How about we blame it on that?
Well, Tracey's feeling real good right now.
we'll blame it on that, okay?
Wink, 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 wink. It's me trying to wink, 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 wink.
I know. I can't believe I'm winking. Wanking.
Hey, I see we got a couple people in here. Can you guys want to say hello so we know who we're talking to?
Oh my God, I thought echo cancellation was coming in. I told you. We have a little thing up here on our control board that says echo cancellation to help with the echo. And I thought when she said somebody coming in, I thought that's who it was. Echo cancellation.
No. I mean, we literally have a couple people watching, and I wanted them to say.
People, let's see. I see.
Yeah, we got two.
Me and you.
No, doesn't count us.
It says
right.
Producer guests. I don't have it.
We do. I do. I see it. But anyways, so it's gone up and down. I've been watching it go up and down. But let's tell some stories. Let's introduce ourselves and tell some fun stories. I wanted this one, I just wanted to be kind of light. We can talk about some of the cases, and if there's anybody in here, if you guys have questions about any of the cases that we've worked and you want to know more about those cases, please, by all means, feel free to ask those questions. And also, at the end of this podcast, I'm going to introduce you guys to a new case that I'm going to be covering.
Do I know about it?
You do. I'm not going to say a whole lot about it yet. But I'm just going to kind of set the stage so everybody knows that it's coming.
Okay, look at Heather's face, everybody, when I say this. Oh, Tracey, I didn't tell you that? She always says that to me on the phone. I go, what are you talking about? She goes, I didn't tell you that? I could have sworn I told you about that.
All right, you tell the story about when we were coming back from North Carolina and the dog in the street. And while you tell that story, I'm going to take my dog upstairs because he's barking and causing a ruckus. So you tell that story while I take him. Speaking of dogs.
So we were coming back from North Carolina after the Q conference, And when we came back from North Carolina, there was a dog, and I'll remember it different than Heather, but there was a dog cutting in and out of traffic, and it jumped up underneath a vehicle. Well, when it jumped up underneath the vehicle, um, Heather slowed down and got off the road because she was going to save the dog. Well, it was 18 wheelers and everything else, and she jumped on the side of the road and she didn't even put the car in park. So I'm having to flip my right leg over and push the brake pedal, and I'm able to get it turned off. And she jumps out and she's laying in the road trying to get the dog out from under the car. That's why I call her my little jumping bean. So she's doing that, spur of the moment, done it. And I'm having to slow down the traffic. I'm further up the road. I get myself further up the road and slow down the traffic. Well, and then I guess I didn't see the rest of it because I'm slowing down the traffic. And she crawled up underneath the car and got the dog. I ran back and got we use these a lot, don't we?
Cell phone charger cord.
We use these a lot, cell phone chargers. Always have a bunch in your car because you will use them for all sorts of things. We're like MacGyver with those chargers. So she was able to get from there. I gave her a cell phone charger to get the dog, and I don't know what happened when she got up under the car or anything, because now it's over to you, ma'am.
Got the dog, put the cell phone charger around his neck, and we called. He had a phone number on his tag on his collar. We called the number, and the guy came to get the dog, and he said it'd been like a month. The dog had been missing for like a month. He had taken him hunting, and he ran off, and he couldn't find him, and so he was very grateful and offered us money, and he made a donation to the Q Center for Missing Persons, and yeah.
Oh yeah, that was the
a
cute part of the story. Now let's tell the rest of the story. Was it from there that when we were coming back, we heard bing, bing, and yeah, see, she's over there being quiet now. I heard bing, bing, and I'm thinking, she goes, oh, don't worry, that's just the gas. Don't worry, that's just the gas.
It's not my phone. Don't worry. I'm not missing any calls or any text
Don't
messages.
worry, it's just the gas.
Just the gas.
So we're driving along and driving along, and it was dark, and it was getting cold.
We were almost home.
And I had prayed, not when the ding happened. We were in Nashville when the ding happened.
Well, we were almost to my apartment.
Yeah, but where was that? What was what town was
Franklin, Tennessee.
Right. So we were in Nashville when the ding ding happened. And so I'm thinking, oh, I got to go to the bathroom.
We ran out of gas.
We ran out of gas. I had to go to the bathroom.
Anybody who knows me knows that this might happen sometimes.
It was flipping cold. Luckily, she had a friend that came out and brought her gas in the middle of the night, and we were able to get home.
So when we ran out of gas and we pulled over the side of the road, we were both like rocking, trying to get the car to go further. Oh my God.
And then
That's so funny.
It was many years up ahead, but the time we were on film, and I don't know how to tell it because it was so funny, but when I tell it, it doesn't sound as funny as it was.
When we were on film?
We had all the cameras. When you're filming one of these shows, I don't even know which show it was that we were filming.
It was The Secrets, Lies, and Private Eyes, right?
Okay, yeah. Or which case? I don't even know which case it was.
Oh, which case it was?
Williams, I think.
I don't know.
The same one as The Beach, I think.
That's Williams. Justin Williams. Mm-hmm.
So we had the cameras. They have a camera here and a camera here, and then maybe a couple more. I don't know. So and then they're following you in a van that has cameras sticking out of it, and they're filming you. So we take off going, thinking, I don't know, we being thinking we were hot stuff at that time, or just I don't think
Who
we ever
thought they
think
were hot
we don't
stuff? I
ever think
never
we're
thought
hot
that.
stuff, but we
Tracy.
thought we knew what we were doing. Let's just say we thought knew what we were doing, because we were going to meet at the sheriff's department, and they were behind us, and we thought we knew what we were doing. So Heather's driving, and if anybody has ever driven with Heather or talked to her on the phone, you will have heard this at least once. Oh, did I pass my road? Oh, missed my turn. Oh, I missed my turn. That's her.
Every time I say that, you go, no, no,
There's
you
no
didn't.
way,
Is
not
this a
you.
roast? Is this a roast session? Am I being roasted right
Well,
now?
it's because it's so funny, but it's funny to me. so, so we go taking off to go meet them there, and they're behind us. But instead of making a left turn where the road was, we went straight. Well, all of a sudden, we ended up in the woods within, what, 900 feet? We ended up in the woods around this roundabout that was dirt with a bunch of trash, construction trash in it. It's like, well, we had to back up and get out of there.
I
Yeah,
legit need an off-road vehicle.
you legit.
Legit. This is
The
legit.
problem is she takes her car in off road, so it would just give you license to go where you don't need to go.
Well,
Yeah,
oh my goodness. The stories, though. The
yeah,
stories.
we've had some, but we won't always discuss those. But we've had some stories through the years.
Yeah.
Places, yeah, where we'll just all of a sudden look at each other. And the one time though, it was strange. We were on the Crystal Rogers. We were in Kentucky, and it was a beautiful day. Beautiful. The sun was shining, just beautiful. And we said something to each other about Crystal, and it was a very, you try to laugh and do things, but it's very
Heavy.
emotional and heavy at
Yeah.
times. So we had said something about Crystal, and we were kind of quiet, and all of a sudden it just started raining and the sun was shining. And we just looked at each other, and it was canopy covered. It was gorgeous. And we just looked at each other, and it was
Well,
one of those moments.
and that's like the Holly Bobo case because it seems like I would be out doing something and working on the Holly Bobo case, and then all of a sudden there'd be butterflies everywhere.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, it was
I remember when you went and found where she was, where they put
where
her.
her skull was found.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I remember that.
And,
I was
and
on
I,
the phone giving
yeah,
you turn by turn instructions, and
right.
and
And
then
when
all
I
of a
when I
sudden you
turned on
found
that
it.
road, when I turned on that road where you go down to get to that cell phone tower where her skull was found, there were just swarms of butterflies. Yep. They were yellow. Yellow
They were yellow.
butterflies.
They were butterflies, and with Karen Swift too. When we were out at the cross,
Yeah.
Karen Swift case, a butterfly landed on Heather. Had a black hat on, or a hat. I don't know what color, maybe.
We were filming. We
And we were
were,
filming, yeah.
yeah.
And two butterflies, or a butterfly landed on her hat and just stayed there on the bill of her
Just the whole
hat.
time I was talking.
Yes.
And I didn't even know it. And Tracy was
I didn't
like,
want to say anything because I didn't want that moment to go away.
yeah.
I did not want that moment to go.
I just stood there and the whole time I was talking, this butterfly was sitting on the
And if
bill.
you know Heather, she's not going to sit there and talk like this. She's going to be moving, and
Hands all over the place, flailing, doing that.
I know the two of us, if anybody ever turned the sound down, it would be like kung fu fighting. But
If I was kung fu fighting.
ah, but yeah, that was a emotional butterflies. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. Well, yeah, it's been a wild ride, and we aren't going anywhere. And I think that, as I was saying before, it's been a lot of trial and error. We've learned a lot over the years. Um, I think that the Swift case was, for me, it taught me a lot. As far as like on the job training, we'll say, it's the one case that I think taught me the right way to do things.
And who to trust and who not to trust. That's
Correct,
the
correct. But
biggest
I mean,
deal.
even things as small as like my, like interview techniques, things like that. Um, I think most people who know me on any level know that I'm very personable, and I think that works. That it's a great trait to have as a private investigator, to be able to go sit down with a witness or even a suspect, and to be able to just make them comfortable to have a conversation. Um, and so I bring that technique. I've honed it, and I think are I feel that I'm able to just chit chat with people, and to not necessarily just like, whereas like law enforcement, if law enforcement goes to a witness or to a suspect, a lot of times people are intimidated, and even like private investigators that are prior law enforcement, they're trained that way, and so they're kind of intimidated. People are intimidated by it. But just having a very personable conversation, you're more likely to get more information from them. But at the same time, I've learned, I'm more diligent with like timestamps, and making sure that everything is documented that needs to be documented, and I really do owe that to the Swift case. We've got hundreds of hours of audio on that case, and I sit back and I listen to it, and I'm like, oh God, I just, some of it, there's like
But it's not
two
so
two
much.
3 hour conversations that are just, there's bits and pieces of information in there, but a lot of it is just,
But I know, yeah, okay, not the best, but interviewing technique, not the best, but so much of what you got was so important. And to this day, we go, remember that this can be used for this case, and this can be, I mean, what we have in our vault, it's still so important. It's important to talk, sometimes talk for people for a couple hours. No big deal. Just,
yeah.
you know, I think a lot of it is very valuable, and it's valuable where people don't excuse me, don't even realize it's valuable.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. But, the Swift case is kind of like when I said earlier we couldn't possibly have imagined, where it all would take us. And I think with the Swift case, it started out about solving Karen's murder. And it was always still about that on some level, but it also grew into something so much bigger than that.
And it still is.
And it still is. It um, I
I mean,
think
we have it boiled down, but everybody seems to think it's this one person. And I don't even know if you and I agree on who we think if we both think the same person is the the person. I don't even know. But I know who I do, and you know who I do, and that's how it is. It's boiled down to those few people, but not the one everybody seems to think it is. I don't
no.
think it's that one person everybody thinks it is.
I'm trying to decode here.
I do not think it was,
Daryl.
yeah, I do not think it was
I
him.
don't, yeah, I don't either. And I don't think either one of us ever said that we thought it was.
No, and I think a lot of people think that because of all the guff he gets. He is a protector, and he said he was going to protect his family at all costs. And I believe him when he says
Yeah.
that. And I believe he has created a world where everybody's looking at him and he can say, I didn't do it. Well, we never
Nobody
said you
said you
did.
did, buddy. Nobody said you did.
Yep.
Yeah. But well, so I guess wow, we've been talking for almost an hour. I guess I will go ahead and drop the bombshell here. So I've been talking for a while about a case that I was hired to work in Nevada. And I'm
Oh,
not ready to delve into the details of that case yet. I need to keep some of that close to the vest until I've had a chance to do some of the undercover work that I need to do, some of the covert things that I need to do, because I don't want it, not that I think it would, because I don't think anybody really watches us in Nevada.
well, you never, hey,
Um,
it just takes one person. Just,
Right, but so I want to tell you guys a little bit about this case. It's going to be another big one, and I hope, pray that I'm able to get all the information on this case that I need to get. It is a case where a young lady um, overdosed in a man's home. Um, there is allegations of connections to Diddy. This man is very wealthy and very well known. The authorities did not treat it as a possible homicide. They did not do any sort of investigation to try to hold him accountable for giving the drugs to the young lady who passed in his home. Um, and it's questionable as to whether she was drugged or she took the drugs willingly on her own. It's going to be a huge case. I'm going to do my first podcast on that case on the last day of my trip in Vegas. That's when I'm going to put some of the information out, and that's when I talk who the young lady is and who the man is that she passed in his home. I'll share all that stuff with you later. But it's another case. We're really going to need your support on this, guys.
I want
What
to
is it?
ask, please do it while you're at the airport waiting for the plane to come pick you up. Wait until then, and then you can get on the plane real fast and get out of there.
Well, it's probably going to take at least a couple trips to Vegas to get everything I need.
Right. Well,
But
it
what I'm
already had.
hoping,
Yeah, you've already had a couple.
but I haven't, my trips there before were just to get licensed. I haven't started the groundwork on it yet, the footwork on it. But what I'm hoping is, I'm going to wait till the time is right. And this is another thing that I learned on the Swift case. If I could have done things a little bit differently, we would have withheld some of our information until the time was right. I think we really prematurely showed our hand on that case. So I'm going to hold back until the time is right. And then I'm hoping that maybe we can push it out publicly and possibly find some other victims of this man who were drugged in his home, because we do believe that this is something that he did more than once, that he was allegedly drugging and raping girls in his home. You know, like that was his MO. That's what this man did. So we're hoping to find other victims of his and to be able to hold him accountable for that. Man, it's getting so dark in here. I'm getting really grainy.
Yeah, yeah. I have my little special light I got from Five Below. It's called Sunset. So
Oh, is that why
I'm pink.
you look like
I'm
you look like you're
green.
in the candlelight, all looking
Yes,
romantic and beautiful?
yes, of course. But I stuck it to my monitor because I can't afford a ring light. So I just went and got a
Yeah.
sticky light, and it just goes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just push it. It's one of those cheap push lights.
Nice, nice, nice. All right, guys. We're right at an hour, and I think we had a good one. This was fun, Tracy.
Yep, it was
Thank you for coming on with me
fun
tonight.
dreaming, remembering. That's dreaming and remembering. It's
Um,
remembering.
So we're gonna play our song as we're exiting, and we're going to, if you guys have any questions, just put them in the chat and we will answer those as the song is playing, and then we'll close out. So we love you guys, and you're all our justice warriors. We are all justice warriors. You are part of our team. We consider you part of our team. We love you. Have a wonderful weekend.
Bye, everybody.
Fire in the hill, in the pines of Idaho, Weaver built his stand. A cabin for his family, a rifle in his hand. Entrapment on a shotgun, the marshals laid the snare. They marked him as an outlaw for choosing to live there. August brought the fire, Sam Weaver hit the ground. His dog was shot beside him, no warning, just a sound. Vicky stood with baby in the cabin door that day. A sniper's round from Horry-Ucha took her life away. Yeah, the hills turned red, the news turned black, but the Justice Department never looked back. Down in Texas, Koresh preached the end of days. Families gathered faithful in their holy place. But Ross and Cam were whispering to the press, calling them a cult so the feds could make a mess. NBC cameras fear on replay, the ATF itching for a raid that day. Helicopters swarming, tanks broken, children crying loud through the smoke within. Janet Reno's pen made the order true, but Clinton's hand signed the raid through. 82 bodies in the fire remain, charred in the chapel while America was shamed. When the flames rose high, the nation wept, but the broadcast told the lies they kept. The truck exploded, children gone, but one man's face couldn't stand alone. Witnesses whispered of a second hand, a shadow fleeing through the dust and sand. The papers wrote McVeigh bold and clean, but survivors swore there was more unseen. Guided by forces he could never name, a fall guy chosen for a deeper game. A pale horse rider on the radio waves, William Cooper spoke of the graves. Ruby Ridge, Waco, the lies they spun. He warned the world what was still to come. False flags rising, freedom betrayed. 9/11 visions in the words he laid. Branded a madman, hunted, despised, but the truth truth they told still burns in our eyes. November night, Arizona ground. Police at his door, shots rang out loud. Silenced his voice, but the book remains. Every page carved with the people's pain. Fire in the hills, smoke in the sky. Ruby Ridge shadows where the children died. Waco burned and the city cried, but the truth keeps living though the prophets died. From Clinton's pen to the years ahead, the blood runs deep in the trails of the dead. Fire in the hills, blood in the sand. The people betrayed by their own command.